clarification for our students here. When we were going through all of these committee assignments, the board has committee assignments and ask for board members to be involved with those assignments. Some of them are outside of the school district, where the board representatives are serving in capacities and terms. And the vast majority of them are internal committees that the school board has to be able to work with the administration, to work with the teachers and other employees in the district, to be able to set goals, objectives, and to be able to move the district forward. So that's why you saw a lot of committee assignments that were listed on the agenda. And I just wanted to clarify that for you. We moved through it rapidly, but that's the way that the Board of Education can conduct its business. When they have a committee meeting that is held one time a month, after the general meeting where the school board does its business for approving items and, for instance, like paying its bills and entering into contracts with individuals or other entities. So I just wanted to give you a little explanation of that so you understand why all these committee assignments were made. Okay? Item 10, public to be heard on non-agenda items. If there's anyone from the public that would like to be heard on any agenda item, please come forward and sign the tablet.
Non-agenda, right?
Correct.
Good evening. I don't think I need the mic. Good evening. Usually I'm on the agenda. I'm Kevin Dealey. I'm the president of the Eastern Area Education Association, otherwise known as the Teachers Union here. First I want to say congratulations to all the new board members and to you, President Chando and Vice President Hess. I'm glad to see your service is to be commended. Thank you so much for what you do for the Eastern Area community. It is incredibly valuable. And I look forward personally to working with you and seeing the good that we can all do together. I have the honor and the privilege to serve as president of the EA, but also on the boards of the Pennsylvania State Education Association and on the National Education Association board. And I am fortunate to have had the opportunity last week to attend a national conference on urban education. At that conference, I learned quite a bit of information that I can bring back to you right now. For one, as many of you know, with the reauthorization of No Child Left Behind, also called ESSA, E-S-S-A, part of that requires every school district to undergo a school improvement plan for each one of their schools so that we can work together on improving education nationwide. One of those things also allows teachers to have input and community members to have input in those improvement plans. The NEA has come up with a survey that I'll be sending out to my members to talk about. Basically, it's called a school needs assessment. I've gone through it myself and done it. It takes a couple of minutes, and any lay individual can look at that, parent can see it, and say, well, I think maybe our school needs full-day kindergarten, for instance. That's one of them on there. But we can use that information to see where we could improve as a school district as a whole. It's just good information to have. Other things that we talked about were charter school accountability. As you know, it's a nationwide issue. Charter schools are often unaccountable for taxpayer funds, and they drain our dollars that we can use in our classrooms to help our students. So that is one thing, one item of that. However, there are many teachers that are members of the National Education Association, so we have we want to improve education globally, but that is one part of that. Also, we talked about civil rights and social justice needs of our students. Some things that are sometimes touchy subjects, but I think the Eastern Area School District does an excellent job of working to answer those questions that we have. I also take part in the Equity Committee here, and we have sat in meetings, talked really intensely about some of the needs in this district, very honestly and openly, and I have to commend Mrs. Amelie for her leadership there, as well as Mr. Cuck and actually the entire back table over there. Very involved in making this school district a much more inclusive environment for all of the students. I'm happy to be part of that. Also, I would like to say that we do have two community schools labeled community schools in Easton, but there's no reason why we can't distinguish every school as a community school, allowing every student the opportunity to be heard, to have their individual needs met, and feel like they are part of the community where they come from. So part of my job is to advocate for the students and the teachers as well, and to make sure that we all have the best quality education possible. I look forward to working with you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else in the community that would like to?
Thank you very much. My name is Gary Anderson. Going into 2018, I would ask that you be much more proactive in the total Easton community. I realize you've got a tremendous job to do just here, but the world is bigger than just here and involves a very broad community. And I want to narrow that down very quickly. Lafayette Sprawl is a tax increase. Let me repeat that. Lafayette Sprawl is a tax increase. If you want to debate it with me, I'll be glad to meet you later. But factually, Lafayette is intending to sprawl, and there's a long track record of institutions like Lafayette, many of them very fine institutions. I went there. It's a great diamond. But it has a track record going back at least to 1880 of aggressively taking things off the tax rolls, up through the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. More recently, Swarthmore has done the same thing. It's vice president of development, and it's groundskeeper. Other colleges have done the same. And when you do that, it hurts here. Now, Lafayette owns 150 some residential properties. According to Lafayette, it keeps paying taxes. Peggy Palmer did the homework, listed them all, and the first one I picked, they're not paying taxes on. Beyond that, credibility gaps. But look at it this way. If they took 150 properties out of circulation, they're out of circulation forever, practically. That means no more families, no more affordable families, no more taxpayers, no more things that aren't part of this community. Never to come back again. Lafayette may be the world's best factory of producing very good students, but they're not from Easton, and they don't stay in Easton by and large. Perhaps that's true other places. They make a reference to Swarthmore. Swarthmore's got some great institutional values, and it's an economic engine. If you look at Lafayette, it is a complete economic fizzle in terms of this community for at least 200 years, in terms of building the community up. I can go through their hiring practices, their staffing practices, but each of you represents Easton. Lafayette's got 30-some board members. None of them live in Easton, except possibly the president, and she lives in a tax-exempt home, and her compensation package is probably equal to everybody over here, including such goodies as she gets grossed up for certain taxes that she does pay. Nobody in this room gets those, I'm sure. The next senior member of her staff lives 70-some miles away. A senior member of her staff who's behind the project to expand lives 45 miles away, Pennington, New Jersey, in a community that doesn't even have a high school. It's so affluent. It rents space next door. There's nothing wrong with that, but they don't represent Easton values. People say Lafayette is too big to take on. I'm sorry. You, ladies and gentlemen, represent stronger, more values, more votes, more community members, more students, more everything than Lafayette will ever have, with the possible exception of an $800 million endowment. But endowments don't buy you votes. You've got the votes. And the unfortunate thing is, if you get in trouble, you can raise taxes. And I'm not in favor of raising taxes, and I think most of you are not. It's time to take a very serious look at the expansion of Lafayette. It may be an outstanding college, but a sprawl is another fancy word for a tax increase. Any way you like to do it. We could go through their hiring practice and who they hire and who stays, but I think you get the point. They are important, you're more important. You have more votes, you have more stroke, and don't let anybody tell you that you don't count. Seriously, you do count, and it's time to stand up and be counted for this particular district. I don't care whether Lehigh is better. I don't care what they do in Bethlehem. I live here, so do you. Let's make this community the best it can be, and Lafayette should be a contributing member of this community, not the boss. And there are some people who think Lafayette runs too many things, and I assure you, they think they run too many things. Put it in perspective, their CEO bellyached in the New York Times about the prospect of paying a mere 1.4% tax. Okay? They're not going to pay it anyway. Lafayette's not quite that rich. But you think for a moment that after they get what they want, they won't pull their properties off the tax rolls?
Mr. Anderson, I'll remind you, 5
Give me a
minutes
break.
are up. If you could summarize quickly.
Yeah. Please, take a very proactive approach to your tax base, your quality of life. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the audience to be heard on any non-agenda items? Okay, thank you. With that, just prior to adjournment, I'll ask the board, we need a brief executive session after adjournment. Once we do adjourn.
Before we adjourn, with the open seat,
Yes.
are we going to anticipate appointing someone at the January meeting?
Obviously, we accepted the resignation tonight, so it will be advertised. The time frame we're dealing with, I'm not sure about how long people have to be able to submit their letter of interest.
There's no specific.
No specific?
There's no specific rule. There's no specific advertising requirement. In the past, the board has conducted an open solicitation for people interested. It's necessary, however, that the process the board is going to follow, that any interviews for that position must be public interviews. So that has to be advertised, and any vote conducted to fill that position first must be public.
We do have a scheduled committee meetings on January 9th, and we could have a special meeting that night if the board's interested in pursuing them.
Yeah, I think that would be the best route to go, so that we don't, waste time in trying to fill the additional seat. So let's get it advertised, and we'll then set time for that meeting. I believe you run your special meeting first, and then
Yes.
you adjourn and go into committee meetings.
Yep.
So we can do that.
It's Region 2, right?
Yes.
The agenda
Region-
says Region 3.
It's Region
so-
2. I believe I have read it as Region 2.
Okay.
Yeah, you did.
Mr. President, just so everyone's clear, that the purpose of that meeting would be to interview interested candidates.
Correct. Okay. Thank you, Meg.
Thank you.
Any other business from board members? At this time? Ryan?
Thank you. Yes, I just want to take a moment just to congratulate Mr. Chando and Mrs. Hess on being selected to lead the board. I'm looking forward to working with everyone this year. I think we're going to have a busy year, but I think we're going to have a productive year. There's a lot ahead, but I think we have a lot. We're moving in the right direction. So I'm excited, and I'm ready to get started, and I hope everyone else is here. So thank you.
Mr. Snyder, I can certainly echo your comments. I know that our elections were held in May.
Yes.
All 5 individuals were the successful candidates chosen for those seats, but they had to wait over 6 months to be able to go through a general election and then to go through the swearing-in ceremony tonight. I know it was a long, hard 6 months, and I know that you attended meetings here, and that's all behind us. So I agree with you. We will soon have a full board of 9 members, and there is a lot of work to be done. But I'm very happy to see the new board come on and to be able to work together, because our business is sitting right in front of us, and that's the children in this district, and that's what we're here for. And we need to make sure that we provide the best for those children up and down the school district. So thank you, Mr. Stone.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't believe there's any opposition. So thank you. And
Somehow that appeared.
Oh, that
So, do we want to take a minute to do
Okay.
that? Okay, it's a great way to end the meeting.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, when it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that somewhere will soon make a change. We are a part of
Got a little fun there.
Yeah.